Hello everybody, this is Seto Kaiba from your Yu-Gi-Oh chat channel, and today I'm going to talk about skill in Yu-Gi-Oh. Does it involve skill? Does it really not involve that much skill? Is it more of a luck-based game? I'm going to talk about that really today, and my thoughts on that, because I've heard so many times that deck takes no skill, and especially with E-Dragons I'm hearing that too, so I just want to give my opinion on the matter. So, let's start with E-Dragons, because that's why I'm hearing this a lot around where I live and online forever. E-Dragons, I don't think take that much skill. You have to, have a brain up here to do that. You don't want to, you know, go for Dragosack if you don't have Lightness, Darkness Dragon in your hand, really. You'd rather go for Big Eye. Now, depending on how skillful that really is, if you've played Yu-Gi-Oh long enough, it's really not that. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's like 2.5, maybe. I'm being generous here. I think there are decks that do take more skill than E-Dragons. And if they get hit, then we'll see what goes from there, but we have to wait and see what happens. Dark World's another example of that. A deck I've heard that takes no skill throughout the years. I think it depends upon the player, because there's two different types of Dark World players. There are scrub Dark World players, and there are actually decent Dark World players that can play that deck very good. You have to admit this. There are stupid people that don't know how the deck runs at all, and they run Dark Worlds. They're just like, well, Grapha, I win. Get Grapha out. That's the main objective. Okay. And there's certain players that are like, I've had literally Dark World players in real life, mind you, not online, freaking do drag down on me. They have Grapha in hand, and they'll have a freaking Monster Reborn in hand. They're like, Monster Reborn, hey, you're supposed to go for Graph? I'm like, no, dude. Now, maybe that's more due to the fact that there are some stupid Yu-Gi-Oh players, but that's a different video for another day, I guess we can all say. But I think it does take some amount of skill. It takes skill to, I think really we're in today's game, in a way, quote unquote, in some way, shape, or form, it does take skill at the basic level of dueling, which is building your deck. It's those tech-in cards. It's your side deck, what you're going to side for this meta, stuff like that. That is what takes skill in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, that's what I think mostly defines skill. For example, this meta, I think some big name side deck cards are going to be Soul Drain, Iron Imperial Wall, Drill Bird, Drill Lock 1, and you gotta know to figure a way to run a deck that can side those cards in easy and out. Decks I see do good are decks that may not do good in the first round. They'll do decent, they can win first round, but they can really kill you in the side deck. That's with a lot of 5-6 years ago, side decks were just random stuff, really. Grand Mole. So, I think it's become more of an important thing in the game. Yet, I find that people that don't side deck as much, I like watching more. I think they're more skillful in a way. That's kind of hard to explain. It's just my opinion. I know it sounds stupid. It probably is stupid. I agree. In a way, it's kind of stupid. But I just find that people that can side in less, because they've built the deck to deal with all the different things for that meta. They've built it so it's like, okay, if his main objective is Grapha, I have decked main into the deck. I have Soul Drain, so he can't do that. It's knowing what the main meta is and dealing with the main meta. That's what skill is. And it's when you build the deck, no matter how many cards you put in the deck, it's what you put into that deck. That's what I think defines skill in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's also knowing when to make the right calls in the game, when to push for game, when to defend in the game, to hold back even though you want to go for it so bad. When to play the right card, like Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, those game changers that can really change the game. You want a Heavy Storm at the most optimal time is when you try to push for game and your opponent's got a big back row. You want a Dark Hole when you try to push for game or take the momentum back from your opponent. You want to grab that momentum I'm not going to say balls, but you want to grab it by the horns and just ride with it. So I mean, that's what I've learned throughout the years. Yu-Gi-Oh does take some skill. It also takes skill in bluffing your opponent too. For example, I had to bluff my opponent one time. I had 2 Valhalla and a Mirror Force in hand. I bluffed him. I literally put all 2 Valhalla down and the Mirror Force. He destroyed 2 of the Mirror Forces with 2 of his MSTs, 2 of the Valhallas, and the Mirror Force was left on the field. It changed the game around, and I won the next couple turns later. So I think it's just there's little teeny bits of skill left. It's not as skillful, I think, as it used to be, but there's still some remnants of skill. So tell me, do you think what are some remnants of skill that you think remain in Yu-Gi-Oh? I think it's more of a luck-based game than it used to be skillful. But what do you think? Do you think it's just plain out no skill at all? Do you think it's very skillful? Do you think there are some elements in Yu-Gi-Oh that take skill? Um, tell me what those elements are. I know I didn't touch on all of them, but please let me know. Until next time, everybody, Seto Kaiba, out.